David Wright, he signs the contract.
8 years, $138 million.
Well, it was actually only a 7-year extension, though.
Well, that's what I was saying before. I think that includes the 1 year. That includes the 1 year, $16 million option that's in for this year.
So it was a 7-year, $122 million extension is what he got.
Not bad. Keeps him there till 2020. He'll be 37 years old.
What does that break down to about?
7 years, $122 million. That breaks down to about right around what we talked about.
Right about 18?
Right around 18. Because 7 years at $20 million would be 140. He's Shaq 18, 7. That's about about 18 million. 17 and a half, give or take.
So right around where we thought he should be.
Pretty much exactly what we were talking about, right up there with the Longoria deal. Not as much as maybe what an A-Rod is getting. But, I mean, I like it. I'm happy with it. As a Met fan, I have no issue with the contract. I think it's great. You couldn't let him go like you let Reyes go, like we talked about yesterday on the show with Mike. If you weren't going to get him to sign this deal, you had to look at trading him. You couldn't just let him walk away from the franchise after, this many years with the value that he could get for you. But at the same time, now you just got to hope he's able to live up to the contract. That's really all it is. But I think as Met fans, even if he doesn't perform, even when it's all said and done, if you're not looking at David Wright as a future Hall of Famer, I still think Met fans are happy with him being signed to this length of a deal and him staying on the Mets for that long of a period of time. It's David Wright. People love David Wright. In New York, you can't help but love David Wright. I mean, in my opinion, it's really that simple. He's a guy that's he is the face of the franchise, for lack of a better phrase to use, I guess you would say. He is the face of the franchise. And I'd prefer to have a better phrase to use, but, and one of the questions that
But, I mean, is there anybody else you would rather have as the face of your franchise? The guy's done nothing but do everything right. Why would you not want him as the face of your franchise? But anyway, David Wright.
Yeah, career numbers pretty good.
He's a guy that you can't help but want to back. Yeah, listen, I'm not even a Met fan. I'm a Yankee fan. And I have a lot of respect for David Wright. Yeah. I really do. I really wouldn't have minded it if he left the Mets and came on over to us.
I'm sure.
I would actually take him over A-Rod.
Well, I mean, he's younger, that's for sure.
He's younger.
29 years old.
He's hitting for a better average right now. Not necessarily the power potential that A-Rod has, but yeah. I just think that, I mean, I don't see many teams in this league unless you have a Longoria or unless you have even a guy of A-Rod's talent or potential or any other third baseman out there. Who would you rather? I mean, Cabrera you would rather. Obviously, Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown last year. But there aren't many guys out there that you would rather have at third base than David Wright.
Yeah, he's a .301 career batting average, 204 home runs, 818 RBIs, a .381 career on-base percentage. He's been with the team for 8 years. He's a solid player. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. He's reliable. Like you said yesterday, he's a guy that bats for average, and he does his job. And I really want that to be known, is the fact that that's what Mets fans love about the guy. He does his job. He goes out. He plays the game of baseball the right way. He's never in the headlines. He's never in the newspaper for negative things. As me and you have talked numerous times, he is pretty much the Mets version of a Derek Jeter. Is he Jeter? No. But he is the Mets version of a Derek Jeter. So why wouldn't you give the guy this type of deal? That's simple. The Yankees also finish up their deal with
Mariano
Rivera. Gave
1
him
year,
a 1 year
$10
deal.
million with incentives to reach up to $15 million if he hits all his incentives. I love the signing. We do need a catcher now, though.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson signed a 2-year, $16 million deal with Pittsburgh.
I'm sorry.
Was it a 2-year, $12 million deal?
I think it was 2 year, $12 million.
2 year, $12 million. going to Pittsburgh where he's not going to win anything. But at least he's reunited with his buddy A.J. Burnett.
Oh, yeah. I always forget A.J. Burnett.
And, I mean, CeCe really didn't pitch well with Martin behind the plate anyway, so it's just interesting to see who the Yankees are going to bring in to catch next year.
Actually, Martin, 2 years, $17 million deal.
17,
Yeah,
wow.
he bat .211 with 21 home runs and 53 RBIs last year for the Yankees. I will say, though, I think what I liked about Martin was that you could tell the pressure didn't get to him. He had some big plays and some big moments for the Yankees in the postseason, and towards that final stretch when they were fighting with Baltimore for the AL East, Russell Martin played some really big moments for the Yankees. So I think that's something. If you're, a Pirates fan, you're happy about. 2 years, $17 million sounds a little high to me for a guy that you're batting below 250.
Yeah.
And he played over 133 games last year. It's not like he didn't get his share of opportunities to get an average up, or there's certain things about that you don't like. But if you're the Pirates, you did something to make your fans happy, in my opinion. You went out there and got a guy that your fans know of, that your fans watch play big at moments. So
yeah, and I'm okay with what the Yankees have done so far in the offseason. They've re-signed Kuroda to just a 1-year deal. He's a little older, so I don't mind. Just a 1-year deal. Another 1-year deal for Andy Pettitte. I don't mind that either. Gotta like that. Guy's winningest pitcher in postseason history. Bringing back the greatest closer of all time, Mariano, I have no problem in doing that. Again, for just a 1-year contract. Then we kind of lost Martin, and we're going to lose Swisher, but we're going to keep Ichiro. As much as I hate to lose Swisher, because I actually like Nick Swisher.
Swisher's always been a fan favorite when it comes down to...
But Ichiro can put just as many fans in the stands, so I'm not necessarily opposed to keeping Ichiro around.
And that's the thing. I like Ichiro. I think Ichiro gave the Yankees something they were missing. A guy that he hit to get on base. And it's not like he didn't have the power in that park.
And he's got some speed, too.
Yeah, but it's not like he couldn't hit home runs in Yankee Stadium. But he's a guy that hit more for, getting on base, singles, doubles, getting runners in scoring position, getting RBIs. Like, stolen bases, and that was something that the Yankees royally missed last year. I mean, you saw it in the postseason. If they weren't hitting home runs, they couldn't get a run on the board for their life.
Well, Gardner being out hurt them, because Gardner was a lot of their speed. So now you have Ichiro and Gardner this year with Granderson in center. You got some speed in the outfield. You got some guys who can run and hit. It's going to be a more balanced lineup this year.
Well, that's what they need.